Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Brent.
And we are the cocktail evangelists behind Make and Muddle, here to spread the good news about booze. We really appreciate y'all including us in your holiday celebration this year. When Roger reached out, actually Zach reached out from Board and You, and he was like, I have got a group for you. And I was like, tell me more. And he was like, oh, it's the Keller Williams crew. Wait till you meet them. And I knew I have friends who are Keller Williams real estate agents, and I'm like, oh, no worries, we'll be there. Just tell me when and where. So Roger and I had a back and forth, and the first time we talked, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a good night. So Brent and I we have a cocktail company, and we do cocktail menus for restaurants and bars. And we have a line of mixers that are produced here in Louisville, Kentucky, that are all natural ingredients. And you have two of those with you this evening. And we are going to make a couple cocktails with those. And all of our products are available online. We will ship them straight to your door. We ship worldwide. And they are also available locally at the Wine Rack on Frankfort Avenue and at Westport Wine and Whiskey off Westport Road in Louisville as well. So if you have questions at any point tonight, please do not hesitate to jump in and ask. We can talk about cocktails and spirits ad nauseum. So you'll be kicking us off here a little later, I'm sure, because we can just talk about them. So I think we're going to start with an old fashioned. Brent, you want to talk to us about the old fashioned?
Sure. So the old fashioned is considered by most people to be the oldest cocktail in existence, the first cocktail ever created. There is some disagreement on where it was created. Since most of you, I think, are in the Louisville area, I will just say that it was created at the Pandanus Club, and that's where it was created. There is some evidence that it was around before that. There's some publications in Chicago that have referenced the old-fashioned and the specific recipe predating when the Pandanus Club opened, but
they're dirty liars, and we're not hearing that. So it happened at the Pandanus Club. We'll take credit for that.
Sure. So the original recipe is pretty straightforward. It's just spirit, bitters, sugar, and water. So traditionally people use, especially in Kentucky, you use either bourbon or rye to make your cocktail. You can use any spirit. I've made some really delicious mezcal old fashions that have been I've enjoyed the heck out of. But my favorite is the bourbon old fashioned, followed closely by the rye.
We also do so Huber's Starlight Distillery. They make a barrel-aged gin that is amazing, and it makes a killer old-fashioned as well. So if you're not a brown spirit drinker traditionally, they make a really good barrel-aged. And Castle and Key Distillery that's in Frankfort, their product is pretty readily available. They do a fall release every year of their gin that has all of those baking spice notes in it as well, and makes just a gorgeous old-fashioned. So don't be intimidated if you're not a brown spirit drinker.
So the old-fashioned is a stirred cocktail. I'm using a footed mixing glass, but you can use whatever. If you have a red Solo cup, you have the bottom of a shaker tin, a pint glass, you can mix in anything. And the first step in mixing the cocktail is to add enough ice. And I, as a rule of thumb, use more than enough ice to cover the spirits that you're putting in the mixing glass. So this recipe calls for 2 ounces of bourbon. I know that is more than enough ice to cover the level of bourbon that we're going to be adding. The first ingredient I usually like to start with the smallest ingredient and work my way up, just so I can tell. It's easy to forget small ingredients, so I like to put them in first. I'm using a mix of 2 different kinds of bitters today. I'm using just the Reagan's orange bitters, and you just do a couple shakes of that. And I'm going to use the classic Angostura bitters. This is an aromatic bitters, so it has some of the baking spice notes in it as well, allspice, but it also has the bitter notes to it.
Now, if you don't have bitters at your house, it's not a problem, because that 7 syrup has so many of those baking spice notes in it that it's going to give you a really good depth of flavor. If you were just using a traditional simple syrup or Demerara syrup, you would definitely want to add bitters to that. But if you don't have them, don't worry. The 7 syrup's going to make up for a multitude of sins with it.
Absolutely. And this, the 7 syrup is the product that we're using in this of ours. And it is called 7 syrup because it has 7 spices in it. So those spices are like your cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, allspice. I always forget at least a couple.
Clove, star anise.
Yes, star anise is the one that I always forget. And then it also has 3 different types of sugar, which give it a real nice complexity in the syrup. So we use an evaporated cane syrup sugar. We use a brown sugar, and then we use piloncillo sugar, which is a South American sugar. Super rustic. They literally just crush the sugar cane. They pour it into cone-shaped molds, and then let the water evaporate out. So you're left with a lot of the character of the sugar cane in the sugar, and it gives a really nice molasses type character to the syrup. And this is
I am shooting the recipe to everybody in the chat. So if you need the written recipe, it's right there for you.
So this is one of our flagship syrups. It's available year round. Some of our syrups, like the orange ginger cranberry shrub that we'll use in the next cocktail, are only available seasonally. So this is about, I'm going to do between a 1/2 ounce and 3/4 of an ounce. Whenever you make a cocktail, especially when you're making it, gear it towards your tastes. So if you like something a little sweeter, add a little more syrup, simple syrup. If you want something not quite as sweet, you can add less, or you can always add more booze, which is my answer usually.
Hey, Brent.
Yes, sir.
Quick question. So we didn't have all of like the pour glasses and stuff like that. If we're doing a count off of, we use 50 milliliter bottles for just our splits to make our first cocktail. So would your 2.5 ounce be say like a 2 count or a 3 count pour?
It's probably the whole bottle. That's if it's a 50 mil, then just do the whole bottle. That's like the airplane.
Let's use this whole bottle?
Yeah.
No. You're going to use a 1/4 of that bottle, not even.
Of this bottle. Right, got it. That's why I was making sure. Got it.
Sorry.
So
I'd go with the whole bottle.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
bottle that you got in your kit with the whole bottle of your Old Forester. Okay, that seems heavy there, dude. Killing us, Mom.
And buckle up because it's going to be a long night.
Oh, I'm talking about. Please go right ahead.
So tonight I'm using a bottled in bond bourbon, and that means that it's 100 proof bourbon. And this bourbon I'm using is a delicious bourbon that's very cost effective and available only in Kentucky. It's the Early Times bottled in bond. This is not the regular Early Times, which I don't enjoy. The bottled in bond, though, the 100 proof is well worth. I think it's $25 for a liter bottle.
Yeah, Costco on Bardstown Road has it for $22 a bottle right now. So
that's insane.
It's delicious.
So you put all of your ingredients in your mixing glass, and when we're mixing in a mixing glass, we don't incorporate a lot of air into the glass. So we take our spoon and we're really just pushing the ice around. And this mixes the cocktail, it chills the cocktail, and then it provides the proper amount of dilution for the cocktail. And you want to do this for about 22 seconds. That'll give you a good amount of dilution and mixing and chilling.
Get it to be really, really cold. So when we strain out of a mixing glass, traditionally we use a julep strainer. And a julep strainer is just a strainer that has holes in it that looks just like that. This one is a little unique because it sits on the edge of the glass, and then you just put your finger on it, and it prevents the ice from getting into the glass then. Also tonight, I am using Kentucky Straight Ice. I don't know if you all have ever heard of them before, but they make the most gorgeous luxury ice cubes that you have ever seen. Rich Finkus, who owns that company, and he is good people.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Realtor, actually. He reminds me of a realtor when I meet him. He could sell ice to Alaskans, and he kind of does. So it's delicious though. And they sell those like at Liquor Barn. You can get those, and Westport Wine and Whiskey as well. It's clear ice. It is slow melting ice. And he recently got the designation of the official ice of bourbon. So I would recommend we love it because it's slow melting and it's not going to dilute your cocktail too much, but it's going to keep it good and cold for you while you sip on it.
And it's made with the same limestone water that they use to make bourbon. So I think it's really cool that all the water in there is the limestone water, and that's the thing that separates Kentucky bourbon from the rest of the bourbon made in the United States.
Yes, it's why it's the best. It's why it's the best in the world. And Kentucky produces 97% of the world's bourbon. So we
100% of the good bourbon.
do what?
It produces 100% of the good bourbon.
That's exactly true story. Okay, we are going to garnish this with an orange peel. And I'm just going to take my vegetable peeler and just take a good section of peel of that orange out. And then what we're going to do with a cocktail, with the citrus, we are just going to roll that citrus right over the top of it to express those oils over the top of the cocktail. And then we're going to take it and run it around the rim of the cocktail so that when you go down and take a drink of it, you're going to get all of that gorgeous orange that just hits you in the face first. It's going to wake up all of those spices, and the bourbon is going to do really magical things with it. So, and then we're also going to do, traditionally, we have cherries, and we like really good, look, y'all, please do not go buy maraschino cherries anymore. If you have not had a good cherry, I need you to go buy one right now. I need you to go on, you can go online to Amazon and have Filthy Cherries, that's the name brand, shipped straight to your door in 2 days. Copper and Kings, I'm doing a Copper and Kings brandy cherry tonight that's delicious. Luxardo makes great cherries. Woodford Reserve makes great cherries. No more. We're not doing any more maraschino cherries, okay? Unless it's on top of a milkshake from someplace.
Banana split.
A banana split. That's the only place you get to do those. Okay, and then we're gonna do those right down in there with that orange, and we have the most perfect old fashioned ever. So cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all. We're going cheap and college style tonight with plastic cups like that. I bought them the booze and the mixers. I didn't buy them glass. I'm cheap.
There is no shame in that game.
No, you can drink it whatever. I am drinking out of a, this is a handmade ceramic cup by a Louisville artist.
Cherry!
My daughter I have a
This is
70
hot chocolate.
cherries.
Hey.
This has an amazing flavor.
You.
This
I love that.
geared specifically towards bourbon. It plays well with a lot of other spirits. It's created to make the best old fashioned you've had. And you can
It's
also
amazing.
skimp on the
Lisa,
bourbon,
boom!
cover up it'll cover up some multitude of sins.
It will. Also, if you are doing a spirit free, if you're not imbibing for whatever reason, all of our mixers are designed to do mocktails and spirit free and kid craft beverages as well. So if you're not imbibing, if you will do a little bit of fresh orange, like just a squeeze of orange and some seltzer water and just a shot of that 7, it makes just a gorgeous mocktail. Also on our website.
Well, but
Yes, if you go to our website, www.makeandmuddle.com, we have hundreds of recipes there. We also have a kid craft beverage, and we did a pumpkin vanilla milkshake with this 7 syrup in the fall that was ridiculous. I mean, it was so good. People who don't even like pumpkin, the kids lost their minds over it. So it was really good. This also does real well in hot cider if you're not, if you'd like a warm beverage.
So we actually have to jump off because it's her birthday. So
Happy
we're doing a little
birthday!
birthday celebration too. But I appreciate all the stuff, and this is fabulous. So
Have a
thank you.
great holiday. Happy birthday to you.
This is a chocolate. This is a
Hey,
chocolate.
Jennifer, I think you just became Allie Gwynn's favorite person.
Oh, good.
Because Allie, literally, like, her favorite drink in the entire world is the old fashioned, and that's all she ever posted about. I got this one. I got this one. I said, no, you ain't had one yet. So
That's so true. And this is definitely one of the best ones I've had. So
Thank you.
well, cheers.
bye.
Have fun with your birthday.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Olivia says she's not a bourbon drinker,
Birthday.
and it's delicious. So Olivia, I'm glad that you're saying that. That's good. Yeah, that syrup, it covers all sorts of things. It makes things especially delicious. So
I made a sweet potato pie with it last year. Actually, that was pretty tasty.
Oh, it makes whipped cream. Oh, y'all, we make a 7 cream. That's on the website too, that recipe is. It's equal parts of the 7 syrup and half and sweetened condensed milk. And it's better than any bourbon cream you've ever had. And then you can add whatever spirit you want to. We usually keep it non-alcoholic in the fridge because you can have it in your coffee in the morning. But you can add whatever spirit to it that you would like. It's especially good too. And perfect for the holidays. So on. Okay. Any questions? Brent and I are both executive bourbon stewards. So if you have any questions about bourbon, now would be the time to ask them because we can talk forever about bourbon. Do we have any collectors in the group?
I would like to be. So what's good to start with?
Oh, there's so many. The rule, the hard and fast rule in spirits and cocktail is that you get to like what you like, and you taste what you taste, and you smell what you smell. You don't let anybody shame you about what you like. Also, delicious spirits do not have to be expensive. So again, this $22 bottle of bourbon, it's probably been my whiskey of the year for the last 2 years. It does every single thing I want it to do. It mixes. It is great on the rocks. It's great, it's a great price point for a daily drinker. Now, there are also delicious $120 bottles of bourbon that I have on my bar, and everything in between. I would encourage you, if you really want to start down the road, I would start at Westport Wine and Whiskey because of their tasting room. Their tasting room, you can have just a tiny shot of anything you want on their wall and figure out what it is that you like. And then every time you're at the liquor store, just pick up a bottle of something that's, not outrageously expensive, just to figure out where your palate is. Do you like bourbons that have more burnt sugar and caramel and butterscotch? Or do you like bourbons that are more tobacco and leather and smoke? There's a wide range of flavor profiles there. So it's to figure it out. What's my favorite? Again, Early Times is one of my very favorites. I always say bourbon is like children. You can't pick your favorite. I love all of them. So I really love, I can't think of a bourbon. There's one bourbon I hate, and it's Garrison Brothers out of Texas. But other than that,
It's not Kentucky bourbon.
It's not Kentucky bourbon.
It's not from Kentucky.
Exactly.
If it ain't from Kentucky, it ain't bourbon. Sorry.
It's not good bourbon.
Ryan's asking if she missed the Tito's. No, we haven't done that particular cocktail yet, Miss Ryan. So do you still have your Tito's in your bag?
My delivery man is on his way.
Oh, wow. So Jesse's pulling off. Is that
what bourbon did y'all have in your bag?
So we had Tito's for the vodka, and we had Old Forester for the bourbon.
Great.
Is it 86 proof?
Yes.
Isn't Old Foe the same recipe as Woodford secretly?
I don't know.
No.
Mommy worked for Brown Forman. We used to do blind tastings with them because they're so similar.
Yeah. Yeah, Brown Forman's not my favorite distillery. I'm a big Buffalo Trace guy, and close second is Wild Turkey. So I do like a lot of rye in my bourbons, but Buffalo Trace I think they make the best bourbon in the world. So
they do well, and they make the juice for Pappy. They make the distillate for Pappy Van Winkle. That company, Buffalo Trace, is owned by Sazerac. That's the parent company for them. They were bought up a few years ago, and they make, I don't know, 13, 14 different whiskeys that are all exceptional. I mean, even their $13 bottle of Ancient Age is a really good low-end bourbon. It is, there's really nothing they make that I don't love. Also, they are my favorite place to do tours. So if you want to do distillery tours, if you would like to see what happens behind the scenes in distillation, that is a great place to do that. They have several different, and most of them are free. That's the other great thing about Buffalo Trace. They don't really charge you to come in and take a gander on a tour. So, but they also have really fun things like hard hat tours and behind the scenes tours, and they do really fun ghost tours in the fall. So yeah, we love all of those places.
And it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I can't imagine in the snow or in the fall with the leaves changing. There's a little creek that runs through the campus there, and there's a big ridge right above the distillery. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's right on the Kentucky River, so it's beautiful. Go if you haven't. I would highly recommend that. All right, we're going to move on to the next cocktail. This is called Urbane Equinox, and Urbane Equinox is our take on a cosmopolitan. Right? You want to talk about the Cosmo?
Sure. So the cosmopolitan can trace its roots all the way back to a gimlet. So a gimlet is basically just a spirit and citrus juice. At some point in the cocktail development, someone decided to add triple sec to the gimlet, and then it became the kamikaze. And then somewhere, probably towards the 80s, somebody added a little splash of cranberry juice, and the Cosmo was born. And thanks to Carrie Bradshaw, we all know that the Cosmo is one of the most fashionable drinks to drink in the 90s. This is our version of it, and it's totally simple. This is my favorite thing to do is to create low effort, high reward cocktails. And this is what I would say is the definition of low effort, high reward. The only ingredients in this are orange, ginger, cranberry shrub, and either vodka or gin. I prefer it with vodka, and I'm not a vodka drinker. So, and then a splash of citrus juice.
So a shrub is what is made when you macerate fruit and or herbs and or citrus with sugar and vinegar. It was a form of preservation that dates back centuries and centuries, even into Babylonian times, when water quality might not have been as good as it could be. Also, when you come to the end of a crop, when you have this bumper crop of fruit and there was no refrigeration, no way to preserve that, what was left at the end of it, what may be some of the bruised fruit or things that you weren't eating, you could turn into a shrub. And we started playing around with shrubs a couple years ago, and there are no rules about it. Like it is, you can throw anything that you want to, any flavor profile that you can think of, throw it in there with some sugar and some vinegar, and you can create magic with it. So what would happen is they would macerate the fruit, add some herbs to it, maybe a little citrus. Then they would cover it with sugar, and then they would age for a few days or weeks or however long, and then you would add vinegar to it. This particular method of shrub that we use is a quick shrub, meaning that we bring all of the ingredients to a boil, and then we strain it and bottle it and add vinegar to it and then bottle it. But after you strain the solids out of it, they would have maybe used those solids in a sauce for meat or a sauce for a dessert. And then you're left with this gorgeous syrup. And that syrup is said to, in colonial times in the US, that was like the first soft drink. That's where soft drinks came from. You would mix that syrup with a little bit of sparkling or still water, and then you would have this really, really cool beverage that wasn't necessarily alcoholic. So there's your lesson. There's your history lesson in shrubs.
The first step in this cocktail is to chill your glass. If you're using a glass, if you're using a solo cup, you don't need to chill it. But I'm using a coupe, so it's just I put ice water in it, and that'll cool the glass down. So our first cocktail was served on the rocks, and this the old fashioned is served on the rocks, and that's meant to be enjoyed over the course of time. So you can have this for, a half hour if you're lucky, and you sip it as it goes along. The ice keeps it cold. It dilutes as it goes along. It's hydrating at the end. When you serve something up, it's meant to be drank relatively quickly. So like your martinis, anything in an up glass is meant to be drank within, 5 or 6 sips, because it's going to get warm if you let it sit there, or you're going to spill it on somebody if you're walking around. So that's the purpose. You want to chill the coupe before, so that your cocktail that you put in it doesn't warm up too quickly. The recipe on this, did we post it yet?
It is. It's equal parts of vodka or gin and the shrub. So you can do 1 ounce, 2 ounces, however big you'd like your cocktail to be. Those little bottles that you have are 4-ounce bottles. So if you want to do, if you're doing the airplane size, those are probably 1.5 ounces. And then you're going to do 1/3 of the little 4-ounce that you have. I'm going to touch on what Brent was saying about drinking a cocktail up. So we have 3 ways that we do cocktails and spirits. We have rocks, we have up, which is chilled, no ice into a glass. And then the 3rd way that we have it is neat. And when you have anything neat, it is a single spirit. It's not a cocktail, and it is poured from the bottle into a glass. It could be a shot, it could be a whiskey glass, it could be a snifter, it could be any of those things. So you can either have it on the rocks, you can have it up, which is chilled and no ice, or you can have it a spirit neat, which is not, it's just room temperature into the glass. So I'm gonna mute while I shake so I don't burst your eardrums.
One thing, if you go to a restaurant and you order a shot, it depends on the place that you go to. Usually that's the smallest pour of liquor that you're going to get. So it's going to be probably an ounce, ounce and a quarter, up to an ounce and a half. If you order a neat pour or a rocks pour, you're actually getting more alcohol. So it's usually 2 ounces of alcohol at that point. So if you ever look at your tab and you see that you ordered something on the rocks, and there's a rocks charge, it's not for the ice, it's actually because you're getting more liquor, which is one thing that is important to know. Where I've worked, usually a neat pour is 2 ounces as well. Rocks and neat are the same pours. When we shake for a couple of reasons. One is to mix, one is to dilute, and one is to chill. So we want to add enough ice. I usually try to add enough ice to cover the level of alcohol or cocktail in the glass. If you add too little, you're going to get too much dilution because all the ice is going to melt and not chill the cocktail properly. It's going to chill it too much, and you're not going to get the proper dilution. So you want to add about the same amount of ice as there is cocktail in your shaker. And this is a 2-part shaker that we're using. The 2 parts fit together. You just put them together. You line one side up so that it's perfectly straight. You give it a little smack with the back of your hand. That'll give it its initial seal. And then when you shake it, the air starts to cool and it sucks those 2 together. And when we strain, we're going to use a Hawthorne strainer. So this is a classic strainer. It has a spring on it. It's a flat paddle, and it has several piercings in the top of the glass. And I can't see Jennifer, but I hope she's done shaking.
I am done. Yes, go ahead and mute while you shake. So I am straining. I have my Hawthorne strainer here. I have my coupe glass. And coupe glasses go way, way, way back. They were designed for champagne originally. But we find that they do martinis and martini drinks pretty beautifully. Glass shape has a tremendous amount to do with how you experience a cocktail. So if we were doing this in a flute, in a champagne flute, it would be like this shotgun of smell and all of that goes straight into your nose, right? But what we're doing is we're spreading this cocktail out over this coupe glass, so that when we go down for it, we are going to get a really broad rim there that we're going to experience all of that cocktail when we go down and smell it. I am going to garnish with a pick of fresh cranberries because I think they're just absolutely gorgeous, and they're only in season for like a minute and a half. It's ridiculous. And then I'm going to have a little cheers, y'all. Brent, did you get yours? Did you get yours in there?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so I have my shaker here. The way to break this apart is you can see we have it lined up on one side. There's a little gap along here. You want to go to where it's about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, and you just smack that with the palm of your hand, and it shakes. Of course, it's not gonna shake loose. The top loose, and then you can strain it right into your properly chilled coupe.
Now, when we're dealing with we are holding glasses by the stem so that we do not heat the liquid that's in our glass. So this goes about martini. Amy, I see your martini glass. That's very gorgeous. I love it. This goes for white wine glasses, champagne glasses, anything that you're not holding the bowl of the glass. So you're not warming that cocktail up. Also, just like Brent said, these cocktails are meant to be done in, just a few sips. We're not lingering over this cocktail because it's going to heat up in the glass. Now, if you would like to put ice in your glass after it warms up, you're welcome to do that. You're also welcome to have this on the rocks if you would like, and not do this as quickly as you need to in a coupe glass straight up. So
I have some Collins glasses here. Fill this with ice. You can put this in there and top it with soda or Prosecco and have an amazing cocktail as well that you can drink.
What do you think? That vinegar is pretty unusual, yeah?
I think y'all literally, Jennifer, I think y'all, the old fashioned, I think personal, that what I've seen around here has been the hit. And I knew y'all's old fashioned being what it is was phenomenal. So I love that.
Awesome.
All us,
Love
all
it.
us crazy bourbon drinkers that love a good old fashioned.
This cranberry shrub that we're dealing with does not need to be, do not refrigerate it. You absolutely can refrigerate the 7 syrup. You should refrigerate any of our syrups except the cranberry shrub. Cranberries have a lot of natural pectin that occurs in them.
Right.
You and if you are going to put that in the refrigerator, you're going to get it's going to turn into a gummy. You're going to be like, why does this look like this? If it does solidify, if you do forget and put it in the fridge and it's a little solid, you can pull it out, bring it to room temperature, to be just fine. Okay.
Don't get it mixed up with your edibles.
Any questions about anything that we've done? Any questions about any of the spirits?
You
Now,
also,
I'll let everybody know. Oh, I'm sorry, Brent, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, everybody, just to let y'all know, I have Jennifer's email address. So if there's ever a question that you think of later, if there's ever anything that y'all want to get your hands on, she is phenomenal. When she came in and brought everything up, it's like she's wide open. Just hit her up. I'll send the email address to everybody. She would love to talk to whoever. I
Please
love
do.
that.
And our phone number, please feel free to share that as well. If you are just in a liquor store and you're like, I'm looking at these 3 bottles and I don't know what I want, shoot us a text, shoot us an email. We're glad we will answer you back. We want to be a resource in any way that you need for spirits or cocktails or any of those things. Our website, if you go to our website and are looking for recipes about things, you can type in the ingredient that you have and it will pull up all of the recipes that will include. So you're like, I've got vodka and I got an orange and I got, some triple sec. What am I doing? And it will pull up any of those recipes.
All right. So then, Jennifer, if you will, throw in y'all's website in the chat and the phone
Absolutely.
numbers, if that's okay. I have your email. I know that the phone number got kind of mixed in with Zach, and so I want to make sure I had the right one. So I don't want to mix that up. And thank you for that, by the way, because that is something that we'll definitely be looking at. So.
Yes, we do derby parties, and I'm telling you, derby might be my favorite. I feel like it should be a national holiday. I'm not sure why it's not. This year was heartbreaking. I mean, September rolled around, and I was just like, "This is dumb. This is not derby. Derby happens in May. I don't know what this mess is." But no, we love it, and we have a whole bunch of derby cocktails that we love to do, not just mint juleps. So we have some slushes that would knock your socks off for derby.
All I can say about Derby is there's still snow up here in northern Illinois in May. So
Yeah, you got to be here, man. The grass, you never know. You could get snow, or you could be in the pool for derby here. You never know.
So Jennifer, real quick, for those that kind of came in a little bit later, can you again tell us, so Brent is your partner up in near Chicago, correct?
He is.
yeah, I'm in St. Charles, Illinois. It's 40 miles west of Chicago. I lived in Chicago for several years and moved out to the western suburbs to have a child and too many animals.
Excellent. So guys, just to let y'all know how we got involved with them, if y'all didn't hear before, Craig took the Market Center crew out to a dinner. We had a dinner over at Board and U, and that's where the charcuterie boxes are from. Make Muddle did their entire bar menu for them. And so we were there. We had a couple of really good drinks. We had our good, charcuterie boards and food. And the next thing I know, I'm talking to Zach, and I'm the owner, and I was like, man, we would love to get y'all involved with something for a holiday party for us. Just something we're trying to do because we can't really have a true cocktail party or a potluck. And Zach gave me Jennifer's name, and I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. Their whole bar menu was unreal. So
We appreciate that. We had a real good time doing it. They're a fun group. We love them so much.
Absolutely. And it changes seasonally.
It does. Yes, their bar menu changes seasonally. So
oh, I didn't know that. That's really
they'll keep their favorites on there, but we do rotate some cocktails out for them with our seasonal stuff. So Awesome. Well, we appreciate you so much. And we really hope that I know it's been such a challenging year for everybody. And I know that y'all are working your tail feathers off right now. I know that the market has been bananas. So, the pandemic has been awful for a lot of reasons, but it's also been great for a lot of reasons. So I know that all of us are probably in the same business where it's like, this is so weird, but so great. So we really miss being in person with folks though, and doing in-person cocktail parties and tastings, and are really looking forward to the time when we can do that again together. So
I'm actually excited and am planning on, once we get this thing kind of opened up and we can all be in person more, I would love, hopefully you guys would agree, I would love to have you guys come out and we literally all just get together physically in a building and just rock it out. So
we would love that. We would have a ball. Yeah.
That's how these classes started, is that we had booked a string of in-person cocktail classes, and then we had to shut down. And Jennifer was able to pivot our business to an online situation, and so that's how we got here. So I love making cocktails for people. I'm a bartender by trade, so.
well,
Yeah,
we appreciate
we love it.
something new for us. And so that's why we're kind of ballparking this thing right now, and this is the first one. So I hope that everyone thinks it went well. I can't wait to be able to do it again. Guys, what did y'all think? Anything good, bad?
Good, right on. I love it.
Thumbs up left and right here in person.
Like
How
what
about
you did
on
tonight?
the screen? I don't see everybody. I see, oh, Nicole's up there. Yep, thumbs up. Good to see you, girl. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Everything good at your house? Excellent. Paul and Susan. I love that. Who else is up in there? I'm trying to see everybody's faces up there and I can't see. Who all we got?
My cats are.
There we go. Oh, there's Amy and Ryan. I know Ryan's loving it because it's Ryan. Derek's in the house. I love it. All right. So Amy, what do you think? You good?
I don't know what that was supposed to mean, Roger.
Say what?
I don't know what that was supposed to mean, Roger.
Just that it's you and we love you for you.
Jennifer, we can purchase online through your website or at where?
At the Wine Rack on Frankfurt Avenue. John and his crew, John is the shop owner there, his whole crew, they are great. We have a huge display of, they are so good to us right at the register. So they carry our full line of products. We do cocktail mixers and cocktail rims as well. And we have a full line of barware that we sell online. Also, if you're local, Westport Wine and Whiskey carries us, and Westport has been great. They do like full cocktail kits for us. So we just did a cocktail class with them a couple weekends ago. They did like the Urbane Equinox as a kit. They were like, come in, we got the vodka, they had everything needed. You just picked it up and went. So that's a great thing there. Most popular mixes other than the 7 syrup. Go ahead, Brent. Brent, you're muted.
Sorry, that took way too long. Yeah, it depends on the season. Our 2-pepper agave syrup is really popular because it makes the easiest moderately spicy margarita that you're ever gonna have. 7 syrup is popular. Honey lavender is also
The honey lavender, that's the one I would say. The honey lavender elixir is, it was originally designed, Brent designed it to be a toddy, a gin toddy of all things. Look, when he hit me with that, I was like, nobody wants hot gin. Brent, that's gross. Nobody wants hot gin. He was like, no, I need you to stop talking and taste this. And I love whiskey toddies and I'm a whiskey toddy girl, but when that honey lavender hit, I was like, this is a game changer. I don't even know what we're doing right now, but it also makes a crazy good hard lemonade. So the Queen Bee that's on the menu at Borden U, that's our honey lavender elixir. And really yummy. Yeah,
And like Jennifer said, I created it. I think that we are like the Lennon and McCarthy, where Paul McCartney has said, like, even if John is not here writing it, I know what his voice is saying. And so anything I create, Jennifer created, and vice versa.
Yeah, we've been tweaking, Brent and I went to college together. We've been tweaking each other's recipes for more than a couple of decades. So it really like, and that this whole business started 3 years ago. I was writing a cocktail cookbook and I was just stuck. And I said to my husband, I don't really know what to do next. And he's like, you know who you should call is Brent. And I was like, yes, that's who I should call. And so I called Brent. I was like, hey, you want to write a cocktail cookbook? He was like, hell yeah, I do. And when we started talking, it was like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, this is not a cookbook. This is a business. This is all sorts of things that we want to do. And then we were doing like, we had a lot of arms of the business. And then I met Misty Stanley, who some of you know, and she is became my business coach. And she looked at me, she said, Hooker, I need you to pick a lane. And I was like, we could do all these things. She's like, no, pick a lane. And then we decided it was product. And when we picked the products lane, it was just good things happened. So we believe the foundation of this business is about connection. It's about creating moments for people that they can connect with the people that they love over a good pour, over traditional spirits, and there's a seat at the table for everybody, whether you're imbibing with spirits or not. So we just appreciate the opportunity to come and hang out with people and create moments where they can be together with people that they love.
Well, that's awesome. And we thank you so much. Amy Dixon up there that you see, she's actually the head of our culture committee. So, you know, when culture starts happening and we start opening things back up, she's going to want to do a little culture stuff. I know.
I love it.
Craziness in her head. So from me, Jennifer, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, just from the market center level. I hope the agents have appreciated what you've done for us. I love it. I hope they did. If not, I'll hear about it. Trust me. But I won't tell you. So,
oh my God, look at that E.H. Taylor. Who's Nicole? Is that your E.H. Taylor behind?
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Girl, that is so good.
I love it. So guys, are there any other questions that y'all have for Brent or Jennifer before we say thank you again and sign off?
I have a question.
What's that question, Ms. Bailey? Uh-oh, our resident Christmas bunny has a question. What?
Why does bourbon taste so bad?
Why does bourbon taste so bad?
Don't drink what you don't like. That's what I would say.
Absolutely.
It's because she's not of age yet. That's why.
Thank y'all so much. Please let us know if you have any questions and have a great, safe, and festive holiday. And we'll see you in the new year.
Jennifer, thank you again so much, guys. Let's give it up for everybody. Thank y'all so much. And we will see y'all soon. Thank you. All right, guys, we're gonna bug out. I've stopped the recording. Hey, Susan Floyd, what's up?
Hey, cheers.
There you go.
There's two Santas.
I love it. All right, guys, y'all have a great evening. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what else we could do better or what we could do to make this kind of thing better, especially when we're in person, and we'll make it happen. Love you.
Thanks, Doctor. That was awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you. We loved it.
Love you guys. Talk to y'all later.